Howdy, Raise Nation. We're broadcasting live from San Antonio, Texas for the 9th annual Raise Conference. I'm Dawn Lego with OneCause, and we are turning up the volume on fundraising, innovation, and inspiration, straight from the Riverwalk to the airwaves. And riding shotgun with me is my fantastic co-host, Kevin Spikerman with Auction Packages.
Thanks, Dawn. The energy here is electric. Thousands of change makers, bold strategies sparking, and fundraising strategies that will shape the future. Over the next 2 days, we'll bring the stories, the breakthroughs, and maybe even a little Texas-sized fun. Turn it up.
It's Raise Nation Radio. We are back with our Raise coverage, and look who we brought in. Daniel Morford from the Pando Initiative. And Daniel, I just have to say, I'm fangirling a little bit because you're like all over the Raise promo videos.
I was.
Yes. How was that seeing on yourself there?
First of all, it was amazing because what I took away from Raise last year, to be able to convey that and get other people to come was phenomenal. So I feel like I did my job by saying a few things about how amazing it was, but the real magic is everybody who puts Raise on.
So you're a Raise veteran.
Yes.
What would you say to anybody coming to Raise for the first time?
Come ready to collaborate, get ideas, and then take them back and implement it.
Wow. How about that, Kevin?
I love it. And Daniel, we've had some conversations over the last couple days, and I really love your story, right? And I love how you've been able to work in the nonprofit space. But speak to me a little about how you have a degree in nonprofit management, right? Very specific, right? So somebody who's new to fundraising, and does that degree help them, or how did that serve you as you got ready and got into the charity space?
Yes, no, it definitely does. So I don't think anybody goes to college to become a fundraiser. Taking that nonprofit management role and approach and degree really is going to help you round out yourself. So you're going to learn about budgeting. You're going to learn about marketing. You're going to learn everything in the realm of nonprofit, and that's going to translate into the fundraising.
Well, you're using all of that education to innovate what you're doing and reimagine your events, which we love that tagline. We love to reimagine events here at OneCause with our innovation. Talk to us about that. How are your events changing?
Yes. So one of our core values at Pando is innovation, to innovate. And so we really, we can't do the same things we did 35 years ago. So especially with new demographics of donors coming in, we really have to keep things upbeat, and we have to keep them lively and give the people what they want, along with providing the mission. So it's a fine line of making sure that you have a great party or a great event, but sharing your mission. And you also have to be on your toes because at any moment something could change. There could be a trend in
like that thing happened in 2020.
Exactly. What did everybody do? They shifted, and
yes.
That's how you're going to be successful. You're going to shift with the changing of the world, whether it's every second or every year, to engage your audience.
Can you give us some examples of how you've innovated or reimagined things?
So last year was our 8th Cooking for a Cause event, and it's always been a great event. We bring in a lot of chefs, and they serve samples of their food to everybody, and then we have the live auction, the silent auction, everything like that, and it's great. It was great, and we gave out some awards at the end and then said, okay, thanks for coming, we'll see you later. Last year I decided we don't need to be done. It doesn't have to be the end of the party. Yep. We were having our event for the first time in the arena at the casino. So there's a lot of opportunity there for other things to happen. So we had an after party, and we had about 75% of our attendees stay for the after party. And it was amazing. We had people dancing. They were up. Everybody was having a fantastic time with the dueling pianos. And that was the start of something that is making everybody come back this year as the after party.
Yeah. So Daniel, you're really leaning into that donor engagement, right?
Yes.
And like donor engagement at the events, but speak about also the donor engagement that's beyond the events, right?
Oh, that's even more important than at the event, because you get them, now you got to keep getting them.
Yeah.
So donor engagement doesn't look like just getting that check and then getting them to bid on items or make a donation.
We'll see in a year.
Yes, exactly. You can't do that. You have to engage with them. A lot of people think that's just through communication, but get them involved. They want to be a part of what you're doing. So, for example, Pando is in schools. Bring those donors and those people into your school to see what your program is doing firsthand. They can read about it in a newsletter. They can see the pictures on social media, but they don't really understand the impact until they see it in person and they see the people that your program is impacting.
So what tools and techs are you using to help make that magic happen?
Well, obviously, OneCause has been an amazing,
Shameless plug.
amazing tool.
In what way?
So event platform. It is seamless. Last year was our first year. I had great help setting up the event for the first time. And then this year, the copy and paste. You just recreate the event, but then you update everything.
Copy and paste.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. And it makes it so easy for event attendees as well. So you don't hear questions about, why isn't it working? There's a lot of the user error that's cut out, which really helps me out in putting on an event. So
are you using any of the AI features?
Oh, yes.
And what's your take on using AI to work smarter?
AI is an amazing tool if you use it in the right sense. And I think in the OneCause platform, using it for silent auction, live auction, descriptions, I think there's a lot of different capabilities that AI has its purpose for OneCause. I think they're amazing.
Now, you write great descriptions for auction packages,
do.
but how do you feel about AI helping our nonprofits just take them, elevate them?
No, I think it's great. And I think AI, especially when you use it as a tool to kind of like brush up what you're working on, right? And I think, you guys have a great story to tell. And I think using AI to just elevate instead of having AI be AI is not the foundation. Right. AI is there to elevate what you guys are already doing, and it seems like you guys are doing exactly that.
You have to give it the purpose and the content. And when you get great things written by auction packages for an auction item that you're putting in, you look at that and you think, oh, my descriptions have to match, but I don't have time to do that. So that's where the AI comes in.
But you don't have spare time, Daniel?
Yeah, I've got hours to just write package descriptions. But no, it's a very great tool.
So tell us about Pando Initiative. What don't we know that we should know?
So the Pando Initiative is a Wichita-based nonprofit, and we serve about 50,000 students across the state of Kansas through two main programs. Our Pando Kids and Next Gen program are in-school programs where we have full-time staff that are located in the school. Typically, they have a classroom or an office. They meet with students. They have social emotional groups, lunch groups, special interest groups. They help children with attendance, academics, basic needs, but also connecting the community to the school. And then we also have a financial literacy simulation called Reality U that travels to schools all across Kansas and several other states as well, holding one-day programs where students get to walk into the gym and imagine themselves as a 26-year-old, having traveled to 12 different booths and manage their monthly expenses.
No.
We're talking, you got to buy
Did
a
they have
car.
that when you were
No, they did not.
Okay, I didn't get that.
No.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So we serve about 50,000 students, and we are growing. So it's a very exciting time to be Pando, and an exciting time to be a nonprofit.
Where'd Pando come from?
So Pando Initiative, formerly known as Communities and Schools, was founded in 1990 as Cities and Schools and then Communities and Schools formed, and we were one of the original groups. And then we broke away in 2016 to continue doing what we do and work more at a local level. So that's where Pando comes from. The word comes from several different things. So in Latin, it means to grow and spread, which is what we do.
Thank you for that. Now I got the connection.
And connecting, yes. And then also twofold, there's a tree in Utah, the Pando tree, and it is the world's largest living organism, and it's all connected by one root system. So there's
amazing.
A lot of symbolism there.
That's a great
but
story.
We're just, formerly Communities and Schools, but now everybody just knows us as Pando, affectionately.
Just Pando.
Yep.
Got
Well,
it.
speaking of exciting times at Pando, it sounds like you've had some exciting times at home, and you personally have grown the families. You want to speak about?
Yes. You want to talk about innovation? Let's talk about starting the foster program and getting your first placement of 2 little girls a week before your first event at an organization. It was life-changing, to say the least.
Yep.
And also planning an event for the very first time, figuring out daycare, what's happening. You have 2 children now. That's pivoting.
I'm so moved. I'm so touched.
And those
Yeah.
2 turned into
The 2 turned into 3. So we got those 2, and then several months later, we also received their little sister. So they were all toddlers and babies. Now they're 5, 3, and 2.
5, 3, and 2.
We're starting the
How
journey.
Are you thriving?
We're starting the journey of kindergarten. So it's been exciting. We love them to death,
Yeah.
and I'm.
Can we
so
shout out
excited.
their names?
Yes, Madison, Kinsley, and Ava. Yes, we love
Madison,
you.
Kinsley, and Ava, we love you.
Dana, I think
Oh.
what I love about your story, right, is that you're there supporting kids in the community, right? But you live it, right? I mean, you're supporting kids who needed a home, and you've given them exactly that. So kudos to you for
Daniel.
for living out your mission.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're such a special person,
Thank
such a
you
great
so much.
influence. What are you hoping to take away from this year's Raise conference?
More ideas. I have an event in 2 months, so
Oh.
what can I go back and elevate before everything happens? So
No doubt that you'll do it. I'm sure. So what do you need the most so we can close us out? If somebody's interested in the Pando initiative, how do they get involved? What do you need? Let's talk about it on Raise Nation Radio.
yeah, so if you're interested in Pando, what we do, or to get some ideas about event elevation, things like that, check out our events, our programs on our website, thepandoinitiative.org. You'll find everything you need there. You can also find my contact information there too.
You're so special. I hope your videos make it into this year's reel. Thank you for being a Raise alumni and everything that you do to move missions forward, and for being just a rock star OneCause customer. We love you in every way.
Well, thank you, and thank you for Raise and everything that you do to help elevate fundraising
It's
and
our
make it easy.
privilege. Yeah, it's
Keep
our
up the good work.
privilege.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, more coverage coming soon from Raise. We'll see. We'll be right back.
Stephanie Ragazzino with OneCause. I'm so glad you're here on Raise Nation Radio.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you for being here. It's kind of an exciting time. We're here live at the Raise conference.
So fun.
And there's also a lot going on at OneCause. So I want you to give us the skinny. What's going on? What's new? What's exciting?
Oh my goodness, so many fun things are going on.
Yeah.
I can't. But what's the buzz? The buzz is AI, isn't it?
Yeah.
I
That's
mean-
what everyone here has been talking about.
The whole time. And
Yeah.
I love it. And we talked about it last year. I think you and I maybe even talked about last year.
Yeah.
And I feel like the world is changing around us. Like, it's, instead of being scary, it's now expected.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
And so it's been a great ride for OneCause, because we've been able to bring some really cool AI stuff to market.
You are.
And I'm just it's really exciting for us. So tools to save time,
yeah.
but also using our data. I love it. We've used all of this data in order
Yeah.
to make it easy. So what we are used to on Amazon, I'm a big Amazon shopper.
Yeah.
But when it's like, oh, suggest this purse that you might also like. We did the same thing
Yeah.
in auctions in order to get people a 25% increase in proceeds based off of using AI. So I'm really proud of that.
Well, this time last year, I was not an AI user, and I reluctantly adopted, and now I'm a total convert. I understand. And
Welcome to the group. So
Thank
yes.
you. And the AI world has brought me some time saving, right? I've been able to execute on my tasks faster.
great.
And I feel like that's the gift that you all have created for those who are in the final crunch, getting ready for their event. And AI is generating auction descriptions.
It is.
AI is generating recommendations for sales. So it's pretty exciting.
It is so great. I'm actually on an auction committee right now for my kids' school.
You are.
We are.
Amazing.
So our event.
Thank you for volunteering.
Our auction goes live on Saturday. So, but every night, that's what I'm doing. I'm using the auction AI generator and pressing that button, and I'm like, thank you. That sounds so much better than what I could have written. So I love it. Yes.
So talk to me about the nonprofit sector right now. Things have been changing fast. Grant money has been changing. Organizations are being told all the time, think out of the box. We got to do things differently. What do you think nonprofit folks should be focused in on right now?
It's a great question. It's a tough time, right?
Yeah.
But a fun time, because I think you have to continue to find ways to reinvent how you talk to your donors and how you engage your donors, and to stay relevant,
Yeah.
because there's so much going on, right? And so
There's-
finding new ways in order to, make the ask, or to thank them, or to be part of the community. I think that's a big part of it, is just finding new ways in order to thank donors, to be engaged with them, and really invite them into this community, to remind them of your mission,
Yeah.
and to give them new ways in order to interact with you and give money. So I think that's important.
Centering the mission has always been something we focused on that's been so important. But I
Yes.
think now, more than ever, it's making a difference for a lot of folks to be able to say that, we're connecting you deeper, not just because of the thing or because of the opportunity or the game or the ticket to the event,
Right.
but because you're really, truly getting to know our mission and being connected to it.
Absolutely. And friends bring friends, right? So when you get one,
Right.
then they bring another friend. And so that's just such an important part. So.
Yeah, it's true. Well, I feel like there's a lot of myths that are out there in the fundraising world. We hear all the time don't do this or always do that. What is a myth that you want to bust for our friends out there raising money?
Okay. Let's see, a myth. Well, how about event fundraising is dead? Do you hear that?
I hear it all the time.
so, in my opinion, it's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah.
It's a crazy. So maybe I'll debunk that myth because I think that it is. Yes, maybe it is. Events are hard. We know that.
Yeah.
Right. It takes a lot of work and there's a lot of money involved. However, events are also more than just fundraising.
Yeah.
It's about creating that community. It's about thanking your donors. It's about keeping them engaged and inviting them to bring their friends.
Yeah.
In a recent study that we did with over 1,000 social donors, we asked them, and I don't know if you've heard this or not, but
Oh, yeah.
it was.
I read that study front to back.
So this is how I'm debunking your myth, but it was 82% said they would be willing to come back to another event. 83% said that they would be willing to become an annual donor, and 64% said they would be a recurring donor.
Yeah.
So events are not dead. Fundraising events are not dead. They're a super critical part.
Well, I think now we are seeing the importance of being reconnected and community creating safety nets.
Absolutely.
I think post-COVID, there was such like separation, and now people are in this world where it's like, oh no, we need to be together. We need to connect more. We need to invest people in that sense of belonging and community.
I agree.
Well, Nathan Chappelle, do you know Nathan?
Yes.
He's a speaker here at the conference. He was talking about the fact that it is the number one indicator of the future of giving for a major donor is if they've attended an event or not.
I think it really connects them to the mission.
Yeah.
Because it is the mission's time to shine.
You have debunked a myth, friend.
I love it.
Well, thank you for joining us here at Raise Nation Radio, and thank you for joining the fundraising elevator where we're all headed up.
Thank you so much for having me.
It is through adventures and journeys, treasured moments made with friends and family, that we learn and experience a global community, ignite curiosity, and join together in changing lives, both our own and those impacted positively by the missions of nonprofits. What was once just a vacation becomes something far more meaningful for all involved. This is life at its fullest, and it is what we offer. We are a leading provider of the best consignment packages to nonprofits for their auctions. We partner with renowned travel and adventure companies, private residences, hotel providers, and local experts to deliver risk-free, customizable, and one-of-a-kind experiences to our valued clients. And because we share a vested mutual interest with our clients, our experienced team will deliver resources, best practices, and a strategy designed to support charitable fundraising goals. There are so many worlds to experience. We make them all possible. We are Auction Packages.
Hey everybody, Trevor Nelson with HA Fundraising, tuning in with y'all from the Raise broadcast studio, Raise 2025. And I've been looking forward to this episode because it's with my friend, the phone guru, Kel Haney.
That's what you call me. You call me the phone guru. I don't know that anybody else does.
Everyone,
He's starting a trend. I
there's
guess.
like over 600 people here, and they're all going, "Hey, that's the phone guru. Can I get a picture?" But I'm so proud that I came up with that moniker, not of myself, but
You should
proud,
be proud of it.
proud that you're here.
Oh, thanks, friend. Well, it's because of you that I am here, that you just, really enjoy all these folks so much. And we're like, you should be in touch with the folks at Raise for the Raise conference. So thank you.
Tell folks a little bit about Kel Haney Consulting and what you do for folks that don't know who the phone guru is.
Oh, no. Okay, so Kel Haney, I am the president and founder of Kel Haney Consulting. And what we do is we work with not-for-profits, guide them to build their mid-level donor base, predominantly through, drum roll, 5-minute phone calls.
I'm just getting the most powerful fundraising tool that everybody has out of my pocket real quick. The most powerful fundraising tool that you have. And then, and that's the reason why, I mean, you and I have gotten along so well, and we've known each other for about a year, and why I absolutely, it was imperative that you came and spoke to people. You just did a session today. We want to get into that a little bit too. But once again, the most powerful fundraising tool that you have, and God knows people need it.
Yep.
People need to get on the phone. We can get in the nitty gritty about that, but you've been on the phone. You've made 40,000 phone calls
That's true.
in your time. But give folks a little bit of background about how you were, got into fundraising and your experience with the phone.
So I spent my career for the first 20 years as a theater director. And it won't come as a surprise to anyone in social impact, but theater directors, even when they are successful, don't make much money. So I needed to do something to help supplement my income. So I started fundraising over the phone for the theater that I thought I wanted to run someday. It's called Manhattan Theater Club in New York City. And I didn't have a background in fundraising. I didn't have a background in sales, but I had passion and I had tenacity and I had empathy as I was talking to audience members about my favorite thing, which was this theater. So I personally raised approximately $6 million in less than 8 years, all in gifts, predominantly of $2,000 and under.
It's crazy.
So, and it was just what I did at night. So I was working on my career. There were times when I was actually working at Manhattan Theater Club, associate director of shows, even a show that went to Broadway. I was working on Wit with Cynthia Nixon. And I was calling all the people who were seeing Wit as single ticket buyers, inviting them to come in and join our mid-level donor program. And, just inspiring people to come see the show who hadn't seen it yet, who were involved in some way. So it was really awesome. It was really formative.
The story's amazing. The fact that you've done it and you've worn that hat. Yeah. Also, your approach with the phone, like I've heard you say a few things, like you just said it just now, like you were inviting people.
Yep.
It's like, we don't need to make it this big thing.
No.
I noticed, like we say, and I know that you adopt something very, very similar. It's like, if you don't know what to say thank you.
Yes.
You lead with that.
Lead with gratitude.
Yeah. Explain that a little bit more.
So I definitely say when you call, the most important time is the first 15 seconds of the call. I have like a very specific methodology that I recommend for that first 15 seconds. And starting with thanking that person and being as specific as possible for that thank you as possible. Thank you for attending this event. Thank you for volunteering. Thank you for your last gift this time last year of $1,000. It really helps us a heck of a lot. We'd love to get you more involved, love to renew your gift. But first and foremost, here's a curiosity question. Ask them something about themselves. And I always say that as you're wrapping the call, whether they say yes, no, I need more time to think about it, thank them for being on the call with you. Like, they don't owe us anything. And I think that's the hardest kind of dance to have, of making sure that you're front-footed on the calls and that you're not apologizing for what you're doing, but at the same time not taking for granted that they are giving you their time, energy, and resources when chances are they weren't expecting that you were going to be on the phone with them today. And if you're ever getting stuck, to go ahead and just stop and just thank you again for staying on this call. Thank you for this time. It's a really good moment if you just need to collect your thoughts a little bit. Like you always say, if you don't know what to say thank you. I encourage that to happen multiple times.
And if it doesn't come naturally to folks, like, it is obviously a skill that can be learned, taught, practiced, perfected over time and reps and all that good stuff. Another really, really cool thing that you do is, like you just said it just now, like we were just almost kind of like role playing.
Yeah.
You lay it all out there.
Always.
You gave this much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
You gave this much. We want you to give this much again. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and
shoot for the moon.
I'm going to swing for the fences.
Yeah. Yes. As you like to
this
say
is
like
how
that.
much we want you to give.
Yeah.
I just, and it's not aggressive.
No.
It's permission.
Yeah.
And it's giving yourself permission to lay it all out there.
Yeah.
Why do you think people, have so much trepidation about picking up the phone and then also just being like that forthcoming?
I think people have trouble picking up the phone because it's really vulnerable.
Yeah.
And because it's done really poorly.
Sure.
So everybody is a focus group of one, and everybody knows what that is like when a telemarketer has called them. Or even somebody with an organization. I have a current client, and their biggest apprehension to us working together, their biggest apprehension was they were worried that the people who were making the calls, it was an opera company and it was theater people making the calls, and they were worried that they were going to mispronounce the names of the operas. And so, but when you've got a specific fear like that, I asked, the artistic director, "Oh, Rob, has that happened to you before?" And I had
all the time.
So like that's where that's coming from. I think it's a similar answer of why are people apprehensive to, be that forthcoming, is also because it's vulnerable. And everyone, we're so afraid that someone's going to get upset with us or see us as being pushy or that we're going to ruin a relationship. And we don't realize that by holding ourselves back and censoring ourselves and going ahead, and sometimes we're actually, even as we're talking to these not-for-profit, as we're talking to the community members, we're actually like disqualifying them in the moment without actually asking them, giving them that option to come and get involved. It's like we're disqualifying, and that's all about protecting ourselves. And not wanting to be vulnerable, not wanting to make a mistake. But when we go through the world like that, we're not actually making strong connections.
No question.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, folks are just afraid. Oh my gosh, I'm going to drop the ball. It's like the ball's not in the air.
Yeah.
Totally. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like,
Or like you're going to drop the ball if you don't volley to the other person. Yeah. Like that's actually what drops the ball, is like if you're not actively listening to and hoping that we can get a good stretch out of that other person, trying to build out the relationship. You're dropping the ball if you're not always working to build out a relationship.
I also like 30,000 foot view. It's amazing because, you know, you're talking about obviously getting money in the door, but focusing on the people.
Yeah.
Every great fundraiser, whether it's with the phone or I'm a major gifts I'm a this person, I'm an event person, this, that. One of the greatest things I've heard recently, than some things from you, is I didn't have time to focus on the money, so I focused on the people.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really, really poignant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And like the longer you're on the phone with someone, the more you're focusing on the people, the relationship. Hopefully it doesn't sound too cliche, but that's exactly what you're trying to do.
Well, I think that's, I mean, again, I think another reason why people who are fundraising, why they don't pick up the phone, why they're afraid to be front footed is because they have a really binary idea of, is this person going to say yes or no to me today? So they're focusing on the tree that is this one interaction, as opposed to the forest that is, what are we building in the larger sense? And if what you're doing on that call is working to build a long-term relationship with that community member, as you and I talk about a lot, the money always follows.
Yeah.
I can't guarantee they're going to say yes on this call. I don't actually care if they say yes on this call, frankly.
Cool.
If that's what's right for them, they'll do it. If not, they might just do it on their own the next day, or when you call them back in a month or in 6 months or a year. Who knows? But it's about always asking and always contextual, asking the specific numerical amount, having a particular goal that you're working towards. When I did the session today, you know, I turned to the audience and said, you know, I know this is what we do in fundraising is no numbers. How many of you don't have a goal right now or know what your goals are? And like so many of them are just, I'm like, we're afraid of numbers, and we shouldn't be afraid of numbers. Like we need to, the numbers are the neutral, and what actually is the variable and the emotionally driven thing is the relationships. It's not actually the numbers of how much we're raising in the larger sense. How far are we? How much did they give last time? How much are we asking for next time? That's actually all neutral. And that's what's hard. It's the one part of the call that I recommend that fundraisers are as neutral as possible, is when they're making the ask. So as opposed to saying, can you just give X? Or I know Y is a lot. Or we have a long way to go. Or, you know, it's a, don't comment.
Right. Totally.
Just ask.
You were talking about yeses and nos, and people have a lot of fear of the no.
Yep.
Little bit of sales background, which, you know, I have.
Yep.
No wasn't the end of the world. It gave me a direction.
Yeah.
No means no right now. It doesn't mean no forever. Talk to folks about getting over the fear of no, or hearing it, or what have you, or how you coach folks to do that.
I think that I like to think about no as the end of a rope. And so what I'm going to encourage anyone who's fundraising, anyone who's having these conversations over the phone, tease open what that no is. So an example I gave today was a colleague of mine who was on the phone with someone who had donated last year to their organization and said, you know, I love this organization, but this year we're prioritizing travel. And that fundraiser was so afraid to be pushy, so afraid to mess up the relationship, that they just said thank you very much and hung up on that phone. So in that moment, she actually made it transactional. And then that person was like, oh, they just want my money right now. They don't care, as opposed to just being a human. And what would you say if someone says that you're prioritizing?
Where are you going?
Exactly.
That sounds so fun.
Yeah.
I've been there too.
Yeah.
Is there tasty wine?
Yes.
That's what I would say.
I would be like, here's the food rack, or what's
Is there
the
a
food rack?
beach?
Yes.
I like the beach. Yeah, exactly.
So, and because you just don't know. And even in that moment, you could still circle back to say, you know, Trevor, I totally get it if you and your family are prioritizing travel right now. That being said, we are trying to raise $50,000 in September. We had a really good first week. We have $25,000 left to go. If there was a world in which you could be traveling and also make this gift to our organization, I'm going to shoot for the moon. You did 1,000 last year. Can you do could you do that 1,500 this year? Or if I already asked for the 15 and they said no with the travel thing, might be like, could you stick where you were last year at 1,000? Like, figure out, is there a comfortable place? It doesn't have to be binary. And I think that is the biggest challenge, is that fundraisers see a no as a door closed, as opposed to just thank you for the information. And so again, a place for gratitude is thank you for being so candid. And then you can share your given circumstances as the fundraiser and see if that changes anything. I'm just always trying to figure out, and are they actually telling us what's really going on?
Yeah.
They might say they're prioritizing travel, and we talk a little bit more, and they're like, actually, Kel, I'm upset because you keep spelling my partner's name wrong on, the thank you letter.
Fair.
That stuff comes out all the time.
It's fair.
And it only comes out if you're willing to be in a slightly more complicated, maybe a little uncomfortable conversation. That's how you find out what's actually going on.
That's where the gold comes. Another thing is, like, you just kept on talking, like, the list of people that are calling are people that have experienced the pain of giving already.
Yes.
I call it pain because, like, they've written the check.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
like-
and the joy and all of the, so yeah. And I really recommend, this is not tactics to pick up the phone booth and book and start calling people out of nowhere. This is specifically designed to call your mid-level donors or people that you think have the potential capacity to go up to mid-level. It's like very specific and strategic for a particular segmentation of your donor base and your community.
Absolutely. We just got stopped in the hallways by some guys who are like, I do that with voicemails. Let's talk about voicemails for a second. And the power of voicemails.
Okay.
I hope it's not unpopular for folks to hear. They're very, very powerful.
Yeah.
I want to hear your opinion about that.
Well, so what I hear all the time is people don't pick up the phone. And usually I hear that when fundraisers have made one call to the donor and they're like, they didn't pick up. Yeah, they didn't pick up in that moment. If they are a mid-level donor, if you are actively on a campaign, I'm going to recommend you call them between 3 and 5 times on that campaign. If they already have a strong tie to your relation, to your organization that they've been giving recently, then what I really recommend is that you leave all of that information on a lengthy voicemail. I say voicemails are akin to a handwritten note at this point. People can tell. And again, you don't want to be slick. It doesn't want to sound over rehearsed. It's just truly you making that specific numerical amount ask over the phone in context of how much you're trying to raise, how far are you away from it. And then saying to them, thank you so much for listening to my lengthy voicemail. I'm also going to put this in an email. You might get cut off on the voicemail the first few times as you learn to be faster. Guess what? Just call them back and be like, I'm just learning to leave voicemails and I need to be faster. Give them a second call. It's human. It'll be fine. And then leave them, also write them an email that same day and make it as personal as possible. So it needs to truly be, and you can have a template, but it needs to be that the subject line is like more informal. I just left you a voicemail, whatever that is. And that there's lots of negative space. And it's truly like, you gave X, could you give Y this year? We're trying to raise Z amount. We're AA amount away from it. Have a link that like is really easy to find of where to give, and always say, and if I don't hear from you, you're welcome to reach out if you've got questions. If you don't hear from you, I'm going to call you back in however long. So they know you're going to keep calling them. And then you have that email thread. So the next time you call, you can leave a quicker voicemail. You can then say, I'm also going to like bump our email thread to the top of your email list. So you don't have to your inbox. So you don't have to leave the same email again. And then you can always give them, here's the update. So we were at 25,000 a week and a half ago. Now we're at 40. We are 20% of the way away. And so then you're sending an update as well. You wouldn't believe how many people give it the specific numerical amount when you ask. And you've heard this story. I mean, I've got one client, Giving Tuesday, as we get closer to Giving Tuesday, last Giving Tuesday, they had given 2 years prior at 5K and hadn't given in 2 years, called them on Giving Tuesday with the Giving Tuesday 2-to-1 match, said that we were $18,000 away from our match being finished, asked for 7.5K, so a 50% increase. I don't think the fundraiser got back to that person, like just didn't have the time, the bandwidth again, because it was a 2-year, someone who'd lapsed by 2 years.
Yeah.
Trevor, you know this already because I've told you this story.
Yeah.
But in January, the first week of January, a check showed up for $18,000 from that person. So we asked for 7.5. What they heard is that 18 would get us to the goal. And that person was inspired to give the 18 from a voicemail, an $18,000 voicemail. And that amount and that particular story is a bit extreme, is a bit of an outlier, but this happens consistently every day, multiple times a day for the 10 clients I have right now.
Still a great story.
Thank you.
There's a lot of people in the world. There's a lot of money in the system.
Yes.
There's more money in the system than there's ever been. The biggest transfer
Totally.
of wealth that's ever happened in the history of humankind
Yeah,
is
it's
happening as we
right
speak.
now. Yeah.
Over the next 15 years, everyone that's listening just got a masterclass from the Fun Guru.
Thanks.
First Raise, you presented today.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Raise?
Oh my gosh, so fun. What I love about being here is that it really is about getting as much information out to these folks in the social impact sector as we can. Like, I just feel like everyone is really here to help and to educate and to connect.
It's a cool vibe.
And it's really cool. Like,
Yeah.
there is, speaking of like icky sales or anything like that, not seeing any of that. I'm really just seeing people that are really here to connect with each other and to not feel like they're alone. That's the best. I'm getting the most feedback is that people are saying things that I thought I was just struggling with. I'm hearing other people struggle with it. And I've got some people who are specialists in particular areas who are giving me tools to work through those things, that I'm not alone and that this is all something we're working on together. It's pretty cool.
Some of the greatest things I've heard is that you do not have to fundraise alone. People
Yes.
on an island. This is such an encouraging event.
Yeah, agreed.
I knew we're tickled that you're here.
Yay,
I
I'm
knew
so
you
glad
were
to be
going to
here.
bring a ton of value.
Thanks.
And obviously you did.
Yay. Thank you.
Tell the audience where they can find you and
Yeah.
get more of this good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So LinkedIn is my business connecting happy place. Reach out to me on LinkedIn. I put a lot of information. That's how we met originally.
Yeah.
It was off of LinkedIn. Do that. You can also go to my website, www.kelhaney.com. I've got 2 free guides on there. One is 8 phrases not to use in fundraising that you can sign up for, or 5 tips for building out your mid-level donor base. You could do that as well.
Love it. Love
Yeah.
it. Can't thank you enough for coming.
Thanks. It's my pleasure, Trevor.
Yeah. Do us a favor, everybody. Thank Kel for all this goodness. Show her some love and support on LinkedIn. Go to her website.
Very
Say
kind.
hello. Tell her we sent you. Thanks so much, everybody, for tuning into the Raise broadcast studio. We'll see you all next time.
In the world of nonprofit fundraising, every moment counts. You're dedicated to your mission, but are outdated tools holding you back? OneCause is here to help streamline your efforts, elevate your donors' experience, and boost your fundraising results, all in one easy-to-use platform for events, auctions, peer-to-peer, and online giving. With our integrated tools, AI-driven innovation, and our award-winning support, get ready to save time and raise more for your mission with OneCause.